Well, already farmers in southeast Louisiana have a good reason to use something to monitor their fields. Last week, a series of major storms dumped nearly 2 feet of rain on their fields.
Yeah, and that was just over about 2 days. Meteorologists call it a 100-year rain event, meaning you only see something like that happen once every 100 years or so. At least one West St. James Parish farmer who had knee-deep water in his soybean field hopes he never sees rain like that ever again.
St. James Parish farmer Greg Gravois needs an all-terrain vehicle to check his crops. It's been 4 days since the big rain, and he's still driving through water in his soybean fields. Gravois says at one point, the water here was thigh deep, and he has the pictures to prove it.
This is almost a world record rainfall for us.
Before this rain, Gravois was dealing with a lack of moisture.
This about here is 110 acres back here, and this is the area that most concerns me.
It was here where Gravois had lost all of the soybeans in his field to drought, so he replanted 2 weeks ago.
Dead beans.
Only to lose the second planting to the flood.
Will there be a third? I'm not quite sure at this point. The cutoff date for planting for crop insurance is June the 15th. Today we are June 2nd. It'll take a whole lot of drying up for me to get in this ground.
Gravois is running these pumps day and night to get the water out of that field as quickly as possible. His 85-year-old father, Charles Gravois, grew up on the same farm.
You said you never saw water cross that road before.
I've never seen water back up to where you see that green spot before in my life, that far back.
It's managing the water.
When you hear WAFB chief meteorologist and former state climatologist Jay Grimes describe the late May rain which fell here, you understand why the elder Gravois never saw anything like this.
Well, Avery, there's no better way to put an end to a drought than with a good rain, and that's what much of southeast Louisiana got. But in areas like Assumption Parish, and St. James, the rain totals were way beyond ordinary. In fact, they were truly extraordinary. Check out some of these numbers here. Sorrento, 16.5 inches of rain. That's in Ascension Parish. Napoleonville with 13.5 inches of rain. As we get into St. James Parish, watch some of these numbers pop up. Convent, 19 inches of rain. Gramercy, 18 inches of rain. Even Lutcher, 20 inches of rain. So on the other side of the Mississippi, you know the numbers were as big. And yeah, that is just monstrous amounts of rain. In fact, we're probably looking at a once in a 100-year event, if not even more rare than that.
But even in the spots where the water has already gone down, the damage is done.
Here the water was still on the beans, Avery, and the sun came out and literally scalded them to death. These will be a loss over here.
Gravois says he cannot replant here because he needs the land to be clear to plant sugarcane in August. After dealing with major hurricanes like Katrina, Gustav, and Isaac in the past, this is not Gravois' first disaster, but he will learn some lessons living under a new farm bill.
This will be my first experience in dealing with crop insurance where, like I said before, in between farm bills, new rules, new regs, money being appropriated as we speak for these programs.
Greg Gravois still has the pumps running to get all of the water out of his field, so right now the chances of him getting back out there to replant before the crop insurance deadline of June 15th, those chances are getting pretty slim. And although we featured Greg Gravois in that story, he was not the only farmer in West St. James Parish affected by those storms. Brendan Gravois, who you did the profile on just last week?
Yeah.
Well, he had posted a bunch of pictures to his Facebook page of his Perique tobacco plants, just all withered and half dead looking, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
I saw that, and that's heartbreaking to have seen it just 2 weeks ago, and it was a beautiful crop. To know that that's a lot of work that's drying or wilting up, I guess. So.
Yeah.